Greetings all, I pray all is well. You know my message is always changing the vibration of this planet with love, and what conversations can we have to assist in this process. So today's word is about fear. Fear. What does fear look like? You know, because a lot of people think, oh, fear, you're just scared of something. Oh, I'm scared of spiders, I'm scared of the dark, I'm scared of heights. No, but let's look at what fear really looks like and really is in our life, and in just so we can be clear of how it operates. Fear isn't just, you know what I mean, it isn't just those things. Fear looks like racism. Fear looks like slavery. Fear looks like injustice. Fear looks like sexism. Fear looks like homophobic. Fear looks like so many different things. Fear looks like hating on another person because of what they've got. Fear looks like hating on another person for what they look like. Fear, I said fear, I should hate. Fear looks like so many different things in our reality, but we don't associate the word fear with it. The reason why, trying to make America great again is stemming from a space of fear. Fear of a people rising up against all the atrocities that they've done. You know, that's a fear. Think about it. When people are living in fear, right? Fear is lying and cheating on your significant other because of you don't want to be found out. It's fear. And fear is continuously lying to cover up the last lie, to cover up the last lie, to cover up the last lie, is living in fear. This is what we've been subjected to in our complete regime of, in society, in our governmental spaces, in our politicianal spaces, if that's even a bloody word. But but all the different spaces that we're dealing with is lies. But the lies are lies because the truth, they can't be honest with the truth. And so the fear of people finding out the truth of their programs or processes, that fear got us in a state that we're in, because the lies that continuously being told keep people, especially the propaganda that's going on right now, all this stuff keeps people in a state of fear. And why is a state of fear productive for some people? Because it's what their environment is, what their space thrives on. It thrives in the space of fear. It needs people to stay in a space of fear in order to maintain the control. And so, again, this is messages from my spirit, and it was telling me this from a few days ago, but I wasn't feeling too good, so I wasn't able to do anything. But the fear of why humanity is in the state that it's in is because of a few people that's feeding this fear to mass amount of people. And because we don't recognize truly what fear is and what it looks like, white supremacy is complete fear, complete and utter fear. The Karens of the world is complete and utter fear. You know what I mean? All those people that it stems from, it may look like it's, I'm entitled to have this space, I'm entitled to be this way, but it's rooted in fear. Fear of others coming to take away what they feel is their right to have, knowing that it came from, or it stems from, oppression, suppression, negativity, all the hate, all the venomous stuff. It's rooted in those things. And all those things are fear. So when you have an environment, a society that's based on fear, and you don't even understand that the things that you're doing in your everyday, hating on your colleague because of how they dress, or how much money they make, or whatever, all these little hate is fear, because it's fear that you don't have it, or you're not making, or you can't make that kind of money. And the thing is, when you recognize that the fears are all unfounded, false evidence seeming real. I mean, we can go there. It is false evidence because it's the program that you've created in your mind in order to say that this is fact. You're giving yourself you're giving yourself reason as to why this is the way it is, and you're standing on it, even when it's rooted in false information. Again, racism, look at all the things that stemmed from, the slavery. They had it in their mind that black people were not worthy, were not equivalent human beings. So it was a necessity, it was a need for them to be subjected to that type of stuff. And then to let black people rise back up again, or to gain a footing. Oh no, basically they may do to us what we did to them. Fear keeps so many things immobilized. Fear keeps so many things stuck. Fear keeps. And I remember one time years ago, I've been doing this work on myself for a while, right? It first started through meditation. And I remember I was dressed for an event. I can't remember what the event it was that I was going to, but I had this green African attire outfit on, and I was walking into Target, this is years ago, and this black guy was, I don't know what he was selling, but he looked at me. He said, "Oh, you look beautiful." I was like, "Thank you." And he said something else, and he says, "Oh, you so fearful." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Yeah, you so fearful of yourself. You're very fearful." I didn't understand what he meant about I was fearful. I was like, "Huh?" Because in my mind, fear is like, oh, am I scared of spiders? I got fears of, fears that, afraid to do things, you know what I mean? I couldn't even relate to what he was saying. I said, I'm not scared. I ain't got no fears. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't relating it to particular circumstances or spaces. But it's only over time that I started to break down things about myself and my life, that I realized things that were rooted in fear, and things that were rooted in a space that was unfounded. It was something that my mind had created for myself based upon, some of the things that I'd gone through when I was a child, and thinking that I wasn't worthy or I wasn't good enough. These are all spaces rooted in fear. So I'm saying that we need to get in touch with ourselves to understand who we are, what we're about, and realize what fears are we subconsciously holding that are manifesting in our reality. Because the more fears that we hold as beliefs create experiences which create the reality that we live. And if your belief is rooted in fear, imagine what you're creating. I mean, again, look at this world. When you got the people with the big monies that are rooted in fear of having to do monstrous things in order to maintain their way of life and maintain their status. That's a fear, because just human sense or human dignity knows that things like that shouldn't be going on. And we don't even have to go into those spaces to understand what we're talking about, but it's definitely rooted in fear mongering. Again, if you don't do what we say, you're gonna go to hell. If you don't follow this way, you're gonna go to hell. It's all rooted in fear of something. So recognize what fear does, and recognize how it's utilized to keep you subjected to many things. And when you understand that that's your belief, even if it's subconscious, you realize how it's starting to play out in your life. Take control of your life, love yourself, and understand what that looks like. Again, I said, if love is a frequency, what frequency are you holding in the space of fear? It's not the same frequency. You know what I mean? If you've got a lot of belief systems that are rooted in fear, you're not holding the frequency of love. You're not holding the frequency that can be like a beacon for others to receive. So anyway, gotta go again. We love you, and we love me too. Take care, peace out, and have a wonderful and blessed day. Fantastic.